Assalamu alaikum, dear students. I hope you all are fine by the grace of Almighty God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Today, we are here to present the first ever video class to you, an interactive class. I'll be your teacher today, Muhammad Yusuf Alamgir. Our subject, English language, and the text we'll be following today is New Expressway. Children, you'll have to open up to page 238 for our new chapter, which is chapter number 15, The Voice of Hunger. Before we go to the comprehension and the grammar part, we must understand the theme of the entire subject, the subject matter we call it. The theme or the subject matter today is hunger. What the people feel about hunger, what are the causes and the consequences that people feel when they are in a situation of hunger. If you open up to page number 238 in the textbook, you will get to see there are 4 definite separate columns given, and these 4 columns will get your overview and your ideas about what you feel, the terms that are given associated to hunger. Your feelings and your thoughts will fill up these questions. Let us follow the book. First of all, in page number 238, the ideas that you can associate with hunger. 4 columns are hungry people, how a hungry person looks, other problems related to hunger, and then yourself. In a situation, if you put yourself during the time of hunger, how do you feel? We must understand the concept. The theme talks about hunger. The pre-reading for our topic today would be the people, or basically the children of your age and the children who are even younger than you, are facing the problem associated with hunger because probably they don't have the backup or the help or the assistance from their family. Unfortunately, probably their mom or their dad, their father and their mother did not live enough to give them the facilities to become happy. What are the basic needs of a human being? During childhood, you need the basic needs, which are, first of all, food, which is today's theme related to hunger. Then, shelter, of course, the basic needs of a person since birth, medical care, can you think of the others? Yes, of course, education. Food, shelter, medical care, education. And last but not the least, that we somehow forget, which is not objective, it's kind of subjective because it's related to the feelings, emotions, and passions of human being, which is care or love. Love from family, care from family that we get, which is quite essential for a person to grow up from childhood in order to become a very good citizen as well as a prominent person, a good person in life. If these are the basic requirements of a human being, today's theme concentrates on food, apparently, but also these things are related to food because once a person gets the very first criteria of requirement, the other things can be mitigated or sufficed in some other ways. The children of today, in different countries we get to see in newspapers, or maybe in TV, or when you read and talk to others, you get to find out that boys and girls of your age who are supposed to have all these necessary requirements in life, but they are deprived somehow. When they are deprived, they cannot get enough food, and because of that, they have nutrition problem, or you may say malnutrition. Now, we're going to write down the effects, the bad effects or the demerits of hunger, which will help you to fill up the criteria in the textbook. Of course, these criteria would be found in the soft copy which will be emailed to you, but it's necessary to discuss. The first, the clues I'm giving right now, which you may write for these 4 criteria. are the consequences of course, the consequences of hunger. Number one, I'm using the star points and you will decide which one to go in which criteria. The first one is deprivity from nutrition. The proteins and the vitamins and every other vitals that we need from food in order to be healthy. Our nutrition. You will be deprived from that, obviously. The second point that comes in mind, the consequences. Not enough earning. In a very simple way, I can say. Yes, of course, our life is related to monetary values. Everything that we need in this world has to be bought in some way. And in order to do that, you have to earn. And there could be situations when your families cannot provide that for you. And children in that age are bound or forced to work. And they have to earn. In that way, their basic needs are deprived. Their basic needs are cut off from their life. Of course, when you have deprivity from nutrition, you will have disease. And you won't be able to fight from those diseases since you don't have money and the food in order to keep you healthy. So the disease will generate to illness and even to death. These are all factual analysis, something which is happening in the world with students, unfortunately. There are various other points which will help you to write about the facility that we get from the government. The government has a responsibility of helping the poor children in need who cannot facilitate for themselves. They have to be given the food and the shelter and everything else. So you may use another point, the inability of the government. They don't have the sufficient essentials they need in order to provide each and every boys and girls with food and other necessary needs. There are other things also in the soft copy that you'll find out, for example, organ failures, hallucinations, which are psychological. A person may feel hallucination. And how would you know that a person is deprived from food? The external way of understanding that a person is deprived from food or he's in hunger. Of course, the dryness of the lips and the facial situation. You may also find out a person is sick and ill, and the complexion of the skin will be pale. These are the symbols that you find from external expressions that a person may be deprived of food for quite a long time. Or you may say malnutrition. These are all points that you may associate with your writing. May I forward to you with one of the instructions in the same page. It says, there are 4 points in here which may help you, and there's also a picture we will talk about. The types of people you expect to feel hunger and where they come from. Where do these people come from? If they lose their land, their houses, and if they're forced to leave their country, and if they go to another place, they lose everything, and they're deprived of nutrition. Second point, how does this feel when someone who is really hungry looks like, as I told you, the symptoms? Number 3, what other problems or health hazards they face? I wrote down a few for you, and some are the others. And the personal one, which is exactly related to you, which I'm not going to help you. How would you feel when you are in terrible hunger? What do you do, and how do you feel? You're going to write that down. This ideas and emotions, in order to enhance your emotion, this picture is going to help you out. On page 238, there's a picture here stating a photograph. There's a family here, a Vietnamese family from Vietnam. They are resting in the field. They're resting in the field because they don't have a place to go. They lost everything. They are refugees. The word refugee People, family, who are forced to leave their own land, motherland, or the places they own, the land that they own, the house that they used to have. Everything is lost for some consequences. They become homeless, landless, refugees. They keep roaming around. This Vietnamese family, unfortunately, were one of the examples of refugees who has fled from enemies in their highland home district and are traveling down in the valleys. Because of the enemies, they had to run away. Look at each person, the face of each of these people closely, and you will find out the facial expression, the sadness, the sorrow inside of them. Here are some questions that you would like to answer them, and I'm pretty sure after my lecture you'll be able to write those questions and answers by yourself. So, the 4 criteria is here. You must answer with the clues I have provided in the soft copy and in this lecture here. So your homework, the task that you'll have to do at home is, both assignments are in 2 different pages, 238 and page 239. You have to fill up the 4 columns. Here in the book, it says that you may insert words or phrases. I suggest, instead of putting down words or phrases, you write down the exact sentence how you feel. Putting down the sentences will give you clarity and more efficiency in writing English, right? So it's best if you write in all of these 4 columns 2, 3, or 4 points, as much as you can. And do it nicely in your homework copy. And then, of course, in page 239, you have questions, 4 questions that you must answer. Just for your clarity, I'm going to read out the questions to you. The first one says, in the picture, if the girl in white, in the white dress, were in your classroom right now, what would she tell you about herself? Her life is like that of the 3/4 of the children in the world. 3/4 of the children of the world, that's like almost 75%, are deprived of food and other basic needs in their life. So what sort of life would you think that would be? Write down their way of life. How different is it from your life to theirs? You find a differentiation between those people who are deprived, unfortunate, and the one that you are, the way you are leading your life, the difference between. These are the basic questions you must answer. So I hope it has helped you out, the video has helped you out very much. So try out the questions and make the answers as soon as possible. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum.